Welcome back. I'm Travis Brashear, again in our series around Lockton People Solutions. And when we say People Solutions, we've talked about this in some of our other meetings and series or videos. What we're referring to is getting outside of our core benefits work. So we've long been known as a great benefits broker, great service, great strategy. And what we're finding is our clients need to expand that and think more broadly about HR. And so we're thrilled today to be here with Rebecca Krauland.
My experience is in seat doing the job, so performance, compensation, the entire spectrum of HR. My education, I have an IO psychology background, so bring that to the table from org design, performance management, really kind of how organizations operate. So love to be able to bring my talents and my skills to Lockton and to our clients and really be able to help in those holistic HR deliverables.
Awesome. Well, there's several buzzwords in HR these days, right? And I guess one of the big ones, especially coming out of COVID, is culture.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about what that means to our clients and the type of work that we're doing to help our clients sort of wade through this.
Absolutely. So the culture conversation can be very fluffy, for lack of a better term. We talk a lot about feeling. We talk a lot about how employees are experiencing the workplace, but there is a science behind culture as well. And that's what we like to bring to the table when we talk about culture with our clients. It's both the employer offerings as well as what the employees bring to the table, because you can't create a culture high level and expect everybody to just fall in line. It's definitely a two-way street on that. So what we like to do is really help, develop so there's three aspects of culture. It's artifacts, espoused beliefs, and underlying assumptions. What we like to help with is really those artifacts, how processes work, how your policies are built, how you treat your people. And then the espoused beliefs is really where the merging of what you do and what your people feel come together. But the critical aspect is the underlying assumptions. Really, that's what your employers are bringing to the table, and that's what you have to understand about your people to be able to impact culture, right? What are the things that you're just allowing to happen, right? What are you accepting as an organization? And that's what's going to build that kind of baseline. So you have to balance all of those elements together. So we can start in any number of places. So a lot of the times what we like to do is we like to start with data. So Raji Kumar, who leads our employee engagement and analytics, yes, she does this amazing thing with sentiment analysis to understand the true voice of the employee, to be able to bring that to the table. So we start from a baseline of what are your people saying, whether it be sentiment, whether it be surveys, whether it be your stay interviews, your exit interviews, whatever data that you have coming from your people, understand it first. And then once you understand what they need, then we can develop customized solutions that help employers fit the needs of those people, whether it be redesigning the policies, how you communicate about your policies, if it's benefits related, what types of benefits really make sense for the population that you have and what they're asking for. Like you mentioned, there's not really an end date, right? It is an ongoing conversation. It is an ongoing engagement on a regular basis. But where we come in is helping to provide that context and the framework of how to measure it going forward. Okay. You can make these grand programs and put all these cool benefits in place, but if you don't measure the utilization, if you don't measure how your people are feeling with engagement surveys year over year, pulse survey, whatever, right? If you're not measuring, you don't know how you're impacting. And so the ongoing piece of it is understanding the trend that you see once you've put those artifacts and those espoused beliefs into practice. So DEI being diversity, equity, inclusion, and sometimes there's a B with belonging, but it just depends on what your organization's comfortable with or what our clients' organizations are comfortable with. Really when we're hearing about DEI in the news right now, there's a lot of interesting developments that are happening about the amount of oversight that companies have in developing diversity within their organizations, right? We have talked about affirmative action and having those quotas, but I think we need to, really take that step back for a second and, like you said, focus on the I, right? If we build our inclusive practices, if we build these systemic structures that help, make sure that everybody feels included, the diversity, the equity, the belonging come from that. So how do you act in an inclusive manner to drive some of those other elements? So, anywhere within the DEI conversation is a good place to start, right? So if you're just at the beginning and you're like, I have no idea where to begin, we start from your demographic pool. We start by, the surveys I mentioned, any number of ways to understand your population. Demographics are a really good way to do that, especially since you already collect them within most HRIS platforms. Easy to get to, hopefully. But, really understanding where you are is the first step. And then, the tools that we have in place, whether you're at the beginning of your journey, you're in the middle of it, you're like, I don't know where to go next. We also have some tools that we've developed internally that help assess from, where you are from a compliance standpoint, where you are from your talent practices, where you are from inclusive benefits, and really understanding where the organization is in their DEI journey and how they can develop further. There was one client who, the conversation started from the benefits side of the house, and we were like, hey, you really do need to have holistic HR programming for, to really impact this, right? Because you have to have buy-in from the top. You have to have it scaled all the way through your organization. It's not just from a benefits conversation. And so what they did was we actually brought in people who hadn't been in the conversation before. And we're really connecting the dots between departments within the HR group to understand where they could make a difference. So, when we were talking about their talent policies, their benefits department wasn't aware of some of the things that they were doing on the talent side.
They're not talking to each other.
They're not talking to each other.
Right.
And then the same, vice versa, the benefits team is doing some really awesome stuff to be able to provide these inclusive benefits, and they weren't necessarily being shared out from a recruiting standpoint.
Let's shift gears just a little bit. You wear a lot of hats.
I do.
And one of the challenges that I see is in the sort of the HR technology space.
Yes.
And I don't even know where to begin. There's so many challenges, right? Some of our clients have too many tools, and some of them overlap, and and employees are seeing 3 and 4 different places to go for things. Talk about what you're seeing in the HR technology space, and then how are we helping clients with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, there's way too many things out there.
Yeah.
I think there's a there is a unique technology offering for every single aspect of the employee life cycle.
Yeah.
I think where we get kind of caught up sometimes is, we have these massive HRCM platforms that house all of our data, does all the basics, HR management, payroll, timekeeping, benefits administration sometimes, but then you have these add-ons, these bolt-ons. How do you connect them all? And how do you get your data out to really be able to make informed decisions? So it's really about the employee experience conversation, as well as truly being able to be a strategic driver of the organization. We were having a conversation, a couple of days ago about the talent landscape and talent marketplaces that are becoming kind of top of mind with the skills conversation that's happening, knowing that we need to invest in learning and development to really find the right talent and get them doing the right jobs. Right? These talent marketplaces are expansive. Helps from a recruiting standpoint, from internal mobility, identifying talent that you didn't know you had because people just didn't share that they had the skills before.
Right.
All the way through developing individualized development plans to help people grow into the jobs that they want to do. So, and there are so many different levers to pull to be able to support people better. I love talking about my people and their talent. So the majority of our practice comes from people who've been in seat, right? We've done the HR job, we've done the benefits job, we've done the job, right? And so what we bring to the table is really that experienced hands-on knowledge about going through these processes,
right.
Going through RFPs, going through implementation, really figuring out the processes and the procedures that you need to have defined before you even begin a journey in technology.
What you don't know.
Right, exactly. Right. So we love to be able to support our clients by bringing that context that they may or may not have, depending on the size of the organization. Have they been through something like that before, or is it an HR department of one, right? So we help in a number of ways, knowing that that's our background, whether it be from a strategic standpoint of doing the RFP, doing the implementation, or being able to outsource some of their functionality within HR to be able to let them divert their attention to do those things themselves.
Well, I can't thank you enough for the time. This is perfect. This is exactly the type of conversation that I want to pull out of this people solutions, moving away from just core benefits and helping clients think more broadly. And you are definitely the tip of the spear when it comes to that. So thanks for spending time with us today.
Absolutely. Have a great team behind me that helps make it all happen.
Great. Awesome to hear. Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you.